Hi guys, welcome to Hope with Jonathan podcast. And on this podcast, we will share the patient's personal story with battling kidney disease, dialysis, transplant, and more. Guys, we'll also share stories of hope and encouragement for those that are in need of a living kidney donor. We will also advocate for them, a living donor, to step forward to give them the miracle gift of life of transplant. Guys, based upon my personal near-death experience with kidney disease, I started this streaming show called Hope with Jonathan, and also this podcast, Hope with Jonathan Podcast. Guys, if you want to hear more stories like this, please stay tuned. Hope with Jonathan podcast is a Hope Media production. Never let hope become a memory. Hope with Jonathan podcast is a Hope Media production. Hope with Jonathan podcast is in collaboration with Impact America Media, where we give hope to patients to continue on, stay motivated, inspire, and encourage them to continue in the journey. For more information on Impact America Media, please visit impactamericamedia.com. Again, Hope with Jonathan podcast is in collaboration with Impact America Media. Hey guys, this is Jonathan, the host of the Hope with Jonathan podcast. And hey guys, Hope with Jonathan now has a website, www.hopewithjonathan.com, where you can go over and find out where to follow us on all of our social media links, our podcast, our YouTube channel, and much more. Again, guys, for more information on Hope with Jonathan, you can go to www.hopewithjonathan.com.
And then I proceeded to get sick with my kidney disease. Within like 3 or 4 months, I had some symptoms. What I thought was food poisoning was indeed my kidneys, or was issue with my kidney failure. I did find out that I was only born with one kidney at the age of 26. Didn't know that. Thought I had two. Everything was fine up until that point. And some kind of infection just kind of knocked out the one kidney I had that was working, and I had to crash into dialysis. And I did dialysis and hemodialysis for about 18 months. Was very fortunate to have met somebody through a church I attended while being here in Louisville, and had a living donor that lasted for 13 years. So I
Hey guys, welcome back to the Hope with Jonathan podcast. and I'm your host, Jonathan Traylor. Hey guys, on this week's episode of Hope with Jonathan, we had Alex Berrios Jr., a kidney warrior coming from Louisville, Kentucky. Yep, Louisville, Kentucky, that's my hometown. I was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. Grew up in the South End most of my life. Before I moved from Louisville, Kentucky, I resided in the areas of Highview and Fern Creek, and I loved going to the downtown area and the Highlands of Louisville. Really enjoyed living in Louisville, still repping my Louisville Cardinals. That's right, I bleed red. And always is a pleasure to speak with someone from my home city. Alex is an awesome individual. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Alex. Alex is an advocate working with many nonprofits. Alex is a kidney warrior in need of a donor. Alex has an amazing story, guys. I really hope that you guys will take a moment to listen to his incredible story with battling kidney disease. Alex is a father. He's soon to be husband, a family man. Also, like I said, he's an advocate. He works for a company that speaks with kidney patients and things like that. But Alex is an amazing guy and really worthy of a donor to step forth. If you guys are interested at all in any more information on Alex Berrios Jr. in Louisville, Kentucky, you can go over to a Facebook page, A Kidney for Alex Berrios Jr. over on Facebook. Again, that's A Kidney for Alex Berrios Jr. Like I said, he's listed at Lexington, UK Healthcare down there in Lexington, Kentucky. And we wish Alex all the best, man. Just hoping and praying that someone will step forward to be his donor. I want you guys to listen to this. I'm going to let you guys roll into this. But I definitely appreciate all the feedback, love, and support for Hope with Jonathan Live and Hope with Jonathan podcast. Also, guys, if you would, please go over and check out our YouTube channel at Hope with Jonathan. Please like, follow, subscribe over there if you haven't done so already. Also, you can find this podcast streaming there as well. Many of my episodes go over there by the means of the software Spreaker. Spreaker puts it over there on YouTube for me, and it's an awesome thing. So all I have to do is upload it here on the Anchor podcast by Spotify, and then I pay a little bit of money for Spreaker to be able to slap it over there on the YouTube for me. So it's an amazing feature. But again, guys, I wanted to just kind of plug that really quick. Like, follow, subscribe over on the YouTube channel. You can find this podcast streaming pretty much on any platform. And again, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this audio from our live streaming interview with Alex Berrios Jr. You guys stay blessed out there. Stay safe. Remember to love someone, and definitely take care of your kidneys. God bless. KidneyTrails.com. Kidney Trails is an organization that is dedicated to helping those that may be facing kidney disease by education, inspiration, and motivation, by bringing real-life experience from those that have traveled the road of kidney disease, and also information from the medical professionals to help you on your journey. Guys, Kidney Trails offers blog writings from many different writers and authors who give an aspect and real life experiences with battling kidney disease, dialysis, transplant, and more. Guys, KidneyTrails.com has videos. They also offer a podcast called the Kidney Trails Podcast. And soon to be released, a comic book is coming out. Guys, for more information on this, go to www.kidneytrails.com. warrioralexberrios.com.
Be strong.
Hey guys, welcome to Hope with Jonathan. I'm your host, Jonathan Traylor. Guys, how you guys doing tonight on this beautiful Thursday? It's been a really great day today. I want to welcome everybody to our show. We have a very excellent show for you tonight. We have a warrior from all the way from my hometown. As you can see, I'm repping the shirt right here, Louisville, Kentucky, the Louisville Cardinals. I grew up watching the Louisville Cardinals. I was a huge fan, so got to rep the Cardinals tonight. But got a great guest, guys, a great warrior all the way from Louisville, Kentucky tonight, Mr. Alex Berrios Jr. Alex is in need of a donor. Alex is a family man. He's an advocate, and he's one of my friends. And I appreciate him tonight doing the show. Want to bring him on pretty quickly here. But just want to thank you guys for watching the show, supporting Hope with Jonathan, supporting what we're doing here, sharing stories of hope, and giving patients hope and trying to inspire them, encourage them to continue on. But hey, guys, I want to bring on Alex right away. And guys, please, if you would, please, like my man Jared says, please don't be stingy. Please share this. Share this with your friends. Share this with all your besties, all your homies, and let's get the word out for Alex tonight. Let's get his story out there and let him share his incredible story with battling kidney disease. But without further ado, I'm going to bring on Mr. Alex Berrios Jr. Hey, Alex, welcome to Hope with Jonathan.
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for inviting me to this show. I really appreciate it. It's great. I love to be able to kind of share my story and just kind of and be on a platform where we get a lot of folks who are going to watch it and listen to my story and just be an advocate. It's my passion. So I'm looking forward to sharing what I can. So thank you for having me.
No problem at all, Alex. I really appreciate you taking the time to do the show with me tonight. Sure. It's an amazing opportunity for you to get to share your story with battling kidney disease. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm a 41 years old man originally from Connecticut. Grew up, went to a Catholic school for most of my life. After high school and college, I decided to take a year and I moved out to Arizona for a year. And I hiked the Grand Canyon, was on the south rim of the Grand Canyon for 1 year in 2004 and 5. And it was there where I met a woman from Kentucky, and was and followed her back after being in Arizona for the year. I followed her back, and then I proceeded to get sick with my kidney disease. Within like 3 or 4 months, I had some symptoms. What I thought was food poisoning was indeed my kidneys, or was issue with my kidney failure. I did find out that I was only born with one kidney at the age of 26. Didn't know that. Thought I had two. Everything was fine up until that point. And some kind of infection just kind of knocked out the one kidney I had that was working, and I had to crash into dialysis. And I did dialysis and hemodialysis for about 18 months. Was very fortunate to have met somebody through a church I attended while being here in Louisville, and had a living donor that lasted for 13 years. So I received my kidney in June of 2007, and it eventually kind of failed again in July of 2020. So had good at 13 years, and now I am back on dialysis, but I'm doing peritoneal dialysis. So I'm having the opportunity to be able to do 4 exchanges a day, and then see my nephrologist once a month, get labs the other, a second. I go twice a month to the clinic, once to get labs drawn, and then a second time to see my nephrologist, to kind of look over the labs. Like I said, I started this in September is when I started PD. I did hemodialysis up until when I got my catheter placed for my PD catheter in the fall of 2020. So yeah, I've been very active in the 13 years while I was a transplant recipient, being very trying to educate myself about kidney disease and why it is such a bad disease, and how it sneaks up on everybody. And it's not a disease that you can kind of find early about. As a lot of times the symptoms you have, you find that it's too late. It's either your blood pressure is too high, or you have high sugars if you're diabetic. And it's something to be able to, my goal is to try to kind of look at kidney disease early and try to be as preventative as you can, and help patients understand, like, when you go to see your doctor, to ask those questions about kidney disease or kidney function, kidney education, just so that you're at least well versed and have those tools in your toolbox to then know what to look forward to, not necessarily to if you have kidney failure, but to look for those symptoms and know that if you are able to change your diet, or or take certain medicines that could help kind of make the kidney last longer. So yeah, that's kind of what my story is. Like I said, I've worked in different capacities within the kidney field. I've done volunteering for the National Kidney Foundation. I've been a lobbyist for the Kidney Advocacy Committee with the National Kidney Foundation, going to Washington, D.C. and lobbying to talk with local politicians and from my state about the importance of the Living Donor Protection Act, and asking for money for the NIH and looking for money for more research. I've been connected with doing some public speaking with different organizations or with some pharmaceutical companies, and having conversation about just sharing my story as to what it is to be a patient with kidney disease and how to better get it out there in the open. Because a lot of people, like, if you look at kidney disease, it seems to me that like cancer is a chronic condition, and people, when you hear the C word, people will throw money at it. People will, make people wear pink for Susan Komen, but there's not really anything like that for kidney disease. And so I'd like to be able to be part of a discussion that can kind of learn to kind of make it more streamlined. I mean, we've had a few, I can think of like Alonzo Mourning. I could think of George Lopez. I can think of, what is her name? The actress, is it Selena Gomez? I don't know. One actress recently. Yeah, I think it was Selena, had a kidney transplant. So, all these folks are famous, and like they could be our spokesperson, or I would love to have them kind of get it out there, and look at ways to kind of educate and do PSAs about kidney disease. So that's kind of my goal. Like I said, I'm currently working. I used to work for the University of Kentucky as a patient advocate for their transplant program, and I would travel all over the state and talk to different dialysis centers and their patients and their caregivers about what transplant was like, what to expect with transplant, the process of getting listed, helping them with that referral, answer any questions that the coordinator may not be able to answer right away, that I can kind of give them a quick answer or let the coordinator know, kind of be the liaison between the patient and the transplant center so that nothing gets dropped. Like the communication kind of stays, there's continuity in conversation. I currently now work for an organization. It's a small startup out of San Francisco in Silicon Valley called Cricket Health. And it's a program that's actually based in Texas and in California, where patients who have insurances of Blue Cross Blue Shield of California, Cigna, and Baylor Scott and White insurance, specifically for Texas. If you have insurance with those three carriers and you live in those states, there's generally a vendor, a program, which I help run called Cricket Health. And it's specifically for kidney disease patients or patients who may be at risk for kidney disease. And so we have an algorithm that we look at, and we're able to call them up and say, hey, we have a program for you. It doesn't cost anything extra. It gives them education and gives them early tools to kind of help them understand what to look for, what to look forward to. So they would reach out and talk with like a doctor, a nurse, a social worker, a pharmacist, and a dietitian. And so that's helpful. And it's a good way to be preventative and look at like the value-based programs that are out there. That's kind of what I've been doing. Like I said, I'm looking, my kidney, I think, to go back to my story, my kidney failed in July, I think, just because of it it had run its course. I mean, there was not anything, I don't remember what the nephrologist said, if it was just like mediated anti-rejection. I don't exactly remember. They gave me some IVIG and some plasmapheresis to see if they can extend it a little bit, but it didn't. It eventually, my GFR right now is at like a 7 right now. So, and my GFR and my creatinine is at like, God, what is my creatinine at now? Like, I can't remember the creatinine level off the top of my head, but yeah, my GFR is pretty low. And so the dialysis kind of keeps it going, and, hopefully I'll get a transplant, sooner than later. However that needs to happen, if it's through paired exchange or a deceased donor or somebody who I know, or just somebody who wants to, who would be willing to test. So yeah. I mean, it looks, I something I'll add later. And I mentioned, I haven't mentioned into my page yet, but I'm currently listed with the University of Kentucky in Lexington, Kentucky. And you can see that scroll on the bottom there. Also getting worked up to get listed with the University of Cincinnati in Ohio. That's the second closest clinic to me, transplant center, that are pulled from a different list, a different list. So for those who don't know, there's different regions of transplant centers. And so you can be in multiple lists around the region that they're not pulling from the same list. So, yep.
Okay. Well, first of all, you have an amazing story, and I want to congratulate you for continuing in your advocacy, even though that you've lost a kidney, unfortunately. You've stayed strong and continued in your advocacy, and I just think that's awesome. I think you need to be commended for that. I think it's a beautiful thing that you continue to do that, even though you could have said, you know what, I want to give up, I don't want to do it anymore, but you stayed in the game, and I want to commend you for that, Alex. I think that's amazing.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, I knew that it was a calling for me. I knew that like my kidney disease, I don't let it define me anymore, but I also want to be an advocate and be there for folks to help them understand that this disease is misunderstood. And if I can give them any words of wisdom or pieces of advice to make it easier for them in their life and their family, if it's one person I've been able to have that conversation with about the importance of, looking at what you're eating, or the importance of making sure you see your primary care doctor, and ask that question. I think it's important to do that. And so my goal is to continue to be that kind of squeaky wheel for folks and advocate and champion for those patients, in addition to myself, but to them too as well.
Let me ask you this, as long as you don't mind, if it's too personal for you, just let me. But what caused your first kidney to fail?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, my first kidney failed. I was born with one kidney, like I told you guys earlier. So I had some kind of autoimmune disorder. And so in the midst of my 13-year run with my transplanted kidney, I had one small acute episode of like an AKI, like an injury of some sort to the transplanted kidney. I'm not sure if it was like a reaction to something, but they did a biopsy probably in year 8 or 9 of the kidney transplant. And they did the biopsy and they said, oh, you have an autoimmune disorder called IgA nephropathy. And I was like, what is that? So I Googled it, and it's a rare autoimmune disorder where basically our bodies create antibodies to help fight off infection. And sometimes those antibodies get misshapen when they're created in your body. And they, for whatever reason, like to stick to inflame your kidney, specifically to your kidneys. And it's called, like I said, it's called IgA nephropathy. And it's definitely, it's getting more common. There are people who do have it. I mean, there's obviously polycystic kidney disease, and there's all the different ones out there, different diseases. But mine is called IgA nephropathy. So they think that the native kidney, I had IgA. They couldn't confirm it. They just said that there was a lot of scoring on the native kidney. It just failed, and I crashed into this. Yeah.
Okay. I interviewed a lady by the name of Judy Aiken from Hawaii. Judy's Journey Hawaii. That's her handle, and she has IgA as well. And she's actually doing some special dieting that she's doing. That's plant-based to help with her labs and stuff like that. And so far she's been able to avert dialysis. So cool. But she said it is a rare sort of a rare autoimmune disease that people get, IgA. Right. But, I mean, you're like the second or maybe third person of all the patients. I mean, the most common one is chronic kidney disease from type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and then you got people that have FSGS and lupus. But this one here, you're only like the third one, I think, out of all the people that I've talked to and interviewed that say they have it. So
rare.
I think it's great though that you're informing people about it and talking about it. I think it's definitely something that needs to be brought up because probably as we continue in this with kidney disease, you're going to probably see a lot more people, especially with the way we eat as a country and our foods and things like that. So
true. Very true. I am also connected with a foundation called the IgA Foundation of America. They're based in New Jersey. They have a small volunteer group, mighty group that if anybody's interested, wants to kind of connect with me, or I can email you later some of that information in their website and their director. But there's a Facebook page you can go to, and it's pretty solid. I mean, there's a lot of good information. They do a lot of stuff with clinical trials as well, just to kind of help with because some folks with IgA can have it and it can lay dormant, and then it just kind of shows up. And there's those folks who have it, and then don't have to do that. Like, it doesn't kill their kidneys, but it kills other parts of parts of their body. So there's other stuff you have to kind of worry about, but kidneys are the main one.
So you had to go back on dialysis. So you're not on hemo. You're doing PD at home, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah. Why don't you talk to the people out there about what the process is and all of the things that you have to do home dialysis?
Sure. Yeah. So with PD, peritoneal dialysis, it starts off with getting a catheter inserted into your belly, and then putting it all the way into what they call the peritoneum cavity, which is right below your bladder and where your kidney would be. And basically, I'm given a box of fluid, a dialysate fluid called it's called dialysate fluid, and it's a particular strength of sugar water, basically. And you basically, it's kind of like an IV of any kind of medicine, right? You hang it onto the IV pole, and you're able to connect your tube to the bag, and then the bag drains all the way to empty into your belly. And then when it sits in your belly, it sits in your belly for anywhere up to 4.5 hours to 8 hours a day. And then you have to drain it, after a certain amount of period of time. And usually the fluid is like a clear urine looking thing, but it's not urine. It's can be clear, clearish, yellow tinge, but not cloudy. And that's supposed to help with the toxins and release, take the toxins out of the kidney that aren't working, that are helping kind of keep you, at bay. And so you do it every day. Whereas like with hemodialysis, you're doing only 3 times a day for 3.5 hours or whatever, 4 hours, and you're using needles and there's blood. There's no blood at all involved. It's all through the stomach or through the peritoneum cavity. There are some cons to PD and home dialysis in that, like, sometimes the the fluid can be cold, so that it goes into your stomach and you just feel cold. Sometimes, if you have to be really, one of the biggest things with PD is you have to be very, very clean, and make sure that they give us a lot of these different fluids to help keep everything sterile and as clean as possible around like your site. Like your catheter itself needs to be kind of wiped down with a particular fluid called alkavase. You use the alkavase and you use the Accept, the 2 different ones, and then one is for the site of where your catheter is. You clean that every day, cover it up, and then you do the site cleaning as well with the 2 of those liquids, or and then you do that, and then you just kind of connect yourself. To connect yourself and get onto dialysis takes anywhere from, like, once I am connected, things are clean, it's about 35 minutes usually, and then you're sitting. That's including probably like once it's cleaned and once you're connected, it takes about a solid 35 minutes to get into your stomach. And then once it's in your stomach, you close up, you unhook the catheter from the IV pole where the fluid was, close it up, and then tape yourself up. You tape up the catheter back to your stomach, and then you wait for 3.5 or 4 hours or however long. And a lot of times with PD, people have different prescriptions. So like sometimes it could be 5 fills, sometimes it could be 4 fills, and sometimes it can be, you only need to do it for like 2 hours or 3 hours. It just depends on how much you end up. If you lose weight or gain weight, it depends on how much you need. And so I do, like I said, 4 hour. I do 4 bags, a bag each time at 2,500 mLs, and at the end of each shift, at the end of each time, like I usually do it at 8 a.m. I do it for 4 hours. So I do 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. And so, yeah, that's kind of what it is. It can be, there's definitely, some tough stuff with it, just because like I have to make sure. I have a dog and a cat, and I have a young 5-year-old kid. So I have to be careful with like making sure that the area that if they're going to come in, they can't come in while I'm connecting or disconnecting because of germs. And so like I can't have a fan on. I have to like make sure everything is as sterile as possible, because you can get infected. And so I actually had a bout of getting an infection back in February with my dialysis. I don't know how. I'm not sure if I skipped a day of not doing what they call the aseptic technique, but I ended up getting a bout of peritonitis. And usually with peritonitis, they caught it early enough, but they gave me a medicine that I found out I was allergic to, which was vancomycin. And the vancomycin basically opened up my body, and I almost went septic, and was like really sick and swollen. And like, it was I was in the hospital for like 2.5, 3 weeks trying to figure out why that was the case. And so
yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing you on Facebook saying you were in the hospital.
Yep. So so they had to like just give me a bunch of different medicines. They gave me steroids, but then the steroids made my sugars go high. So I became like an automatic diabetic. So I had to check my sugars. And I'm not diabetic. It was just the way the steroids will up your sugars apparently. So I had to go through that, and I have this syndrome called DRESS, which is a drug reaction. Let me see. I don't remember exactly what the E and the S stand for, but let me see if I can figure it out. But
wait, as you know, I did home dialysis as well, but I did hemo, and I did 5 treatments a week. And it was a lot. There was a lot that entailed into it. I mean, you had to be sterile. You had to have all your supplies. You had to have room for all the supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had boxes like in the hallway. I had them in the closet. I had them going down the side of the hall. I remember first delivery was like 72 boxes, I think, which was insane.
You did hemo, right? Home hemo?
Yeah, home hemo.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd love to know what was that like being able to stick? Did you stick yourself? Did you cannulate yourself, or did you have somebody do it for you?
No, while we were going through the training, they developed buttonholes in my fistula.
Okay.
And my wife got trained on how to do the sticking with blunt needles.
Okay.
And let's just say it was an experience because, prior to this, my wife didn't have any experience really sticking people with needles.
Sure, right.
And so, but, toward the end, before I got my transplant, believe it or not, we were having a lot of trouble with my venous. The arterial line would go in, but the venous line, I was having a lot of trouble.
Interesting.
And it started clotting. My fistula was, kind of acting up. And I made an appointment to go see the vascular surgeon.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, the day of my appointment, I had got a call the night before for transplant.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Man.
So, I called them I called them that morning and said, yeah, I won't be showing up for the appointment because I'm here for transplant.
Nice.
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy, but home dialysis, I'll be honest with you, looking back, I would do home dialysis again before I ever went back in center.
Sure.
Just because of the able to do it on my own schedule. I was doing the hemodialysis 3 times a week, locked into Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and I lost my weekend really.
Yeah.
And so it became I felt locked in. I started feeling a little depressed from having to go to the center all the time. So I figured if I was going to do dialysis, I had to do it. I would do it on my terms, and that's home dialysis kind of gives you that liberty.
It does. I was always wondering though, like with how when you did your treatments, you did 5 a week, so you only had one. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not
5 a week, 2.5 to 3 hour treatments versus 4 to 4.5 hour treatments every 3 days. And the great thing was the toxins weren't really getting to build up in my body, nor was the fluid, because I was able to get a treatment, and I knew that every night I was going to get a treatment, so I didn't have to watch as much fluid. I could drink a little bit extra. I could sneak a slice of pizza if I wanted to, but
go too high. Exactly.
But I had to be careful. Still, I had to really, it turned into a game, really. You just really had to play the game. You had to play it smart,
Yeah,
so.
True, man. No, so true.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I would always wonder if I'd picked home hemo versus PD, because with with PD, it is every day, but it's within a day, it's 4 times a day. So it's a lot of stopping and going. Whereas it sounds like in your case, you did it for 2.5 or 3 hours, maybe every day, but you only did it once in that whole day.
And that was it. But I usually did it at nighttime when we was like watching TV and we'll go watch a movie or something, it's time to hook up. There's a lot that goes into it though. I mean, you got to prep your machine, you got to be sterile, you got to get yourself prepared, hang in the bags. I was on, I think, 4 dialysate bags.
Okay.
So they were pretty heavy. So I lifted all those, and I would, cut open the boxes and get out the dialysate for the next treatment and all that. A lot of it has to do with your prep work.
Yes. Yes, most definitely. I would agree. Same with PD. PD is the same thing. Like I try to be as mindful as I can to set myself up for the next 4 hours. Like after it's definitely something that I could probably be doing better at. I'm not going to lie, to prep better the second time when I'm doing it, but it'll improve.
But, so Alex is in Louisville, Kentucky. And so there in Louisville, is there a lot of resources for kidney patients, people that are in need of a donor? Is there, organizations or groups or?
Mm-hmm. There, we have obviously a chapter of the National Kidney Foundation. in Kentucky. We have a Louisville office. It's a small but mighty group of 3 individuals, I want to say, that I think would be advantageous in helping with living donation, helping with just education in general. I would recommend, if you're in the Kentucky area and Louisville area, to look them up. A big one that's really huge, and I'm sure you've heard of them, it's called the Mulligans Living Donor program with what's her name, with Leanne Saylor. They're a great group. They're definitely growing, and Leanne really is a spitfire, great, like, where they really will advocate for folks, and doesn't matter where you live, like, wants to make it bigger than it is. It's based in Louisville, but will help somebody get a kidney if they live in Nebraska, or will be an advocate for them as best they can. And she really works with like all the transplant centers locally, and is like, hey, I want to get so and so transplanted. What can I do as an advocate? So she's really amazing. I'm
a member of that group as well, and I'm familiar with Leanne, and she does a lot. As a matter of fact, I seen her with some pictures at the Kentucky Derby.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She and I have had many conversations, because when I worked at UK, we had a good relationship and chatted with each other about ways to kind of connect my work, what I was doing with what she was doing. And so we still kind of connect and both look to advocate.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, she's it's okay. I totally understand. Effects of kidney disease, right?
Yeah, man. Sleep. Exactly. Yeah. My iron,
But,
man. My iron is the word. I found out I was anemic. So tomorrow I'm actually going to see a hematologist to get a shot of not Venifer, some kind of shot to help bring up my hemoglobin, because my hemoglobin levels are like 9.3. I need to get up. But yeah,
I got the iron supplements all the time. When I was in center, they gave it to me, I think, once a week.
Yeah.
And then whenever I was doing the home dialysis, I was doing it once a week. We'd have to go over and pick it up. I'd get the Venifer shot. It kind of tasted like maple syrup a little bit when it hit.
I've heard people say licorice. Yeah.
It had like a maple syrup taste. Once it got squirted and hit your bloodstream, you could kind of taste it on your tongue.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. I remember that.
Yeah. So, what other types of things are you doing to advocate for yourself?
I mean, I'm, between what you've done with the pages and this podcast, it's honestly, I'll be honest with you, Jonathan, I haven't done a whole lot lately. I've just been really kind of busy with working kind of and telling people through my job. If I go to with COVID and stuff, I haven't had a lot of socialization with talking to people in person. So when I've had the chance to have conversation with people in person, masking up, of course, I don't always want to start off my conversation with kidney. And I find that sometimes I do that a lot, and it's the best you got to do. Maybe eventually, somebody will answer and maybe test, but generally speaking, like, I'll bring it up a little bit, depending on the group, the audience I'm talking to, or if it's like, I went to my son had a shindig at his school last week, and I was talking to some parents, but I didn't talk to them specifically about my situation, just because it was more for him and more just kind of talking about like, oh gosh, it's good to be back and, in person a little bit, and COVID is so hard. So I didn't want to, it was not the right time to talk about, hey, I need a kidney. But I think that it did open the door for me to maybe look at possibly doing that. Same with my church, I talked with them about opportunities to kind of have like a sit down or an impromptu, just 30-minute conversation about getting tested and seeing what that could look like. Like I said, I've told people, like I told you on the phone earlier when you and I spoke, like, just the fact that you're willing to try, is more than enough for me. Like, I don't feel like you need to like if you test and you match, oh my God, that's obviously amazing. But the fact that you're going to willingly go to your doctor, get some blood work done and be specifically for me, and it doesn't work, that's okay. But you at least tried it. So, between my church family, my son's school, I haven't really, I have a 10-year-old daughter with my ex-wife. And so I haven't had the chance to really have that great relationship, that kind of conversation with talking with my daughter about she knows I have kidney disease, but like, she's 10, so I don't want to like burden her with feeling like she needs to like talk to people on my behalf. Be like, you need, a kidney, and my daddy needs a kidney. I'm not going to ask her to do that, obviously. So yeah, I've had in the past, I had a billboard up in the city that I gotten from. I was involved with CODA, the Oregon Procurement Organization. Are you familiar with CODA at all, Jonathan?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. They did a little like marketing campaign, and it was called Save Lives, Y'all. And like around the city of Louisville, I had 2 billboards up for like 6 months. One over by the Interpass where the Waterston and what's that name of that? Gilmore Lane, over on Preston Highway and Gilmore Lane area, right by that. Yeah, over there. Yeah. And one off of Dixie. I forget where in Dixie. But yeah, there's 2 boards. Yeah. So I had 2 billboards. That was kind of cool. I had some friends be like, "Oh, it's so cool that you're there."
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're now done. I mean, this all happened right before COVID. So they were on these billboards for longer than they were supposed to be. They were only supposed to be for like a month. And then once COVID hit, like nobody really like moved it. Like for a long time, it stayed up like until somebody decided to change the billboard.
Yeah. Once, the person had passed that, ended up donating to me, God rest their soul, and God bless my donor family, that they even thought of me to send that kidney to me. They direct donated to me. Okay. All the way from Kentucky. So once they realized that he was going to pass and everything, CODA got involved and made sure that, his wishes were carried out and all that. And because he was signed the back of his driver's license as a registered donor.
Yeah, good. Cool.
So, anyway, so I'm familiar with CODA. They got my kidney on the plane and all that stuff, and
it's cool.
And got it flown all the way down to San Antonio, Texas.
Well, how did it come from Kentucky? Did you know did you know the person who passed away? Like, how were they able to know? Like, you knew? Did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a friend. Our families had went to church together, grew up together. Okay. We've known each other for a long time, and because of my post, I believe on social media, the family was friends with me, and they knew I needed a kidney. Sure. They knew my situation, and he passed away, unfortunately, sadly. And they called me though, and they said, "Hey, we've met as a family, and we would like to donate you his kidney." And I was just like, man, I was totally blown away. Like, I bet. At first I was upset, because I was like, man, this person I know is going to pass, and I think it's very sad. But at the same time, I was in a desperate situation. I'd call my mentor. He's like, "Jonathan, you need to take this kidney. This is your chance, Yeah. This is your chance. Somebody's going to get it. Somebody's going to get it. So you better go ahead and take it." With me being O blood type, I was like, well, yeah, I better take it because, the wait time down here in San Antonio is 6 to 8 years. So
wow, a lot longer. Yeah, it's about 4 to 6. It's changed. I think it's like 3 to 5 in Kentucky right now, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
But they're talking about with the allocation of the kidneys that it might change to longer, which is not good for Kentucky.
Yeah, that's something that needs to be resolved for sure. But the one thing I got to think of, and since it's a National Donate Month, and we're recognizing it in the month of April here, right here toward the end. But I want to say, to my donor family that, I just so grateful that they thought of me. I mean, they easily could have just said, you know what, he's passing, even though he's a donor, they could have just let his organs go anywhere.
Right.
But, they specifically thought of me. And, man, I mean, you can only imagine how grateful I am in my heart.
I know, man. No, totally. I can't. Yeah. Did everything? I mean, obviously we've had it now for 2 years. Is it going to be a year, 2 years for you? And when?
No, actually 9 months. I'm going on 9 months. Yeah, I got it last year in August.
Got it. I knew it was August. I wasn't sure. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But we want to get you there. And guys, if you've been listening to this interview, you want more information, you can hit Alex Berrios at a kidney for Alex Berrios Jr. Over on Facebook. He's got a page there with all of his information listed. He's listed at UK Healthcare in Lexington, Kentucky. The phone number is there below scrolling. Alex is a blood type B, but which means he can also accept an O kidney. And also, we want to recognize the paired exchange program as well. That particular program accepts any blood type. So if you're interested at all, you can reach out to Alex Berrios Jr. on Facebook, and also his kidney page there, a kidney for Alex Berrios Jr. Alex, again, man, I really appreciate you. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Definitely.
Very encouraging to talk to you, very inspiring. Also, I wanted to mention you're fixing to get married, right?
Yes, I'm engaged and looking to probably by the end of the year is the goal. But obviously, kidney, marriage, trying to kind of figure out like what will come first. Probably we hope the kidney, but yes, I am going to be. I have a fiance. Yes.
All right, that's awesome, man. I want to congratulate you personally on that.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and I see you with your pictures with your kids and stuff, so I know you're a family man.
Yeah, thank you.
And Alex wanted to continue to be that family man and be a soon-to-be husband. So, guys, if you're listening, watching this interview, you come across this interview, you want to help out Alex. Alex is in Louisville, Kentucky, and you can reach out to him again at Kidney for Alex Berrios Jr. And Alex could soon to be registered at in Cincinnati.
Yep.
Where at in Cincinnati?
The University of Cincinnati. Yeah, it's that's the university. Yeah, I'll add that to the page once I'm listed with them.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else you want to add? Any shout outs or anything you want to say before we end the show?
No, Jonathan, I just appreciate you giving me this platform. It was good to be able to kind of get back on the horse. I've done a few interviews, podcasts with you before, and I've done some with Steve Belcher. I've done we have a lot of same connections and in the kiddie space where I've done some interviews and conversations. So I love the opportunity to be able to share my story, get it out there, and help anyone else, not only myself, but help anyone else understand, this disease. So if I can help anyway, feel free to reach out to me, text, call, smoke signal. I'm here to answer any questions you guys have. Because professionally, I work in the field as well, as an advocate, but, as a person, as a patient, I've lived it. So I feel like I can bring a perspective that I think sometimes it can't always be brought to light in a transplant center or dialysis center. So,
yeah.
Yep.
All right, Alex. Well, I appreciate you coming on, doing Hope with Jonathan. Again, it's a pleasure.
Cool.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah,
and stay strong, man, and stay inspired, and appreciate your advocacy. And again, man, it's been a pleasure. I'm gonna let you go for now, but thanks again for coming on and sharing your story.
Thanks, John. I really appreciate it, man.
All right, you have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, this has been an amazing interview with Alex Berrios Jr. If you would, please share this with your friends, your family members. You never know who may come across this, may come in contact with this, and feel compelled to step forward to be Alex's living donor. Guys, again, you can find all the information at A Kidney for Alex Berrios Jr. over on Facebook. Again, I'd like to thank everyone that is supporting Hope with Jonathan, Jim Myers, Uncle Jim Myers. Appreciate you watching the show. Kyle Hawkins from Kidney Warrior Merch. Also, I want to give a personal thanks to everyone that has shared this. Again, everyone that's supporting what I'm doing with Hope with Jonathan. Again, guys, appreciate you. Want you to take care of yourself out there. Stay safe, and remember to take care of your kidneys. God bless you.
Hey guys, go over to www.kidneywarriormerch.com. Submit your story today and get a shot at being the Warrior of the Month. If you're selected as the Warrior of the Month, you'll get a chance to interview with Hope with Jonathan podcast. Whether you're a kidney warrior, kidney dialysis patient, or even a kidney transplant patient, or maybe you've just been diagnosed with kidney disease, go over to www.kidneywarriormerch.com and submit your story today. Kidney Warrior Merch is a supporter of Hope with Jonathan podcast. Again, guys, that's www.kidneywarriormerch.com. Hey guys, welcome to Hope with Jonathan podcast. Thanks for all the support for the podcast, also for Hope with Jonathan. Definitely appreciate it. If you're interested in helping out and supporting what we're doing with Hope with Jonathan and the Hope with Jonathan podcast, you can definitely do so by clicking on the listener support. Also, you can find us on social media at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're also on YouTube, and you can find us also on TikTok. All you have to do is type in Hope with Jonathan, and you can find Hope with Jonathan podcast. You can find us on almost all platforms, mainly on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're on some others, but feel free to find us on any platform that you can. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in and listening to Hope with Jonathan. Appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Hey guys, thanks again for tuning in to the Hope with Jonathan podcast. Really hope you guys enjoyed this interview with Alex Berrios Jr. Again, for more information, you can find it at Facebook, A Kidney for Alex Berrios Jr. He's also registered at UK Healthcare in Lexington, Kentucky. Also, guys, I would really appreciate if you guys would go over and check out our YouTube channel at Hope with Jonathan. Please like, follow, subscribe. We would really appreciate it. Also, guys, we have a Facebook group page over on Facebook. Like I said, it's Hope with Jonathan. It's a group, and you can go over there and attempt to request to join, and I will definitely let you join it. And it's basically a group that we can go over and discuss these podcast episodes, give out more information, discuss details, things like that. So guys, really appreciate everything, and I really appreciate all the feedback, love, and support for the show. And you guys have been amazing. Thanks again, guys. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. Remember to love on everyone. It's free. And remember to take care of your kidneys. God bless you.